5 minutes eroding or going. I understand one of the key issues agitating your minds as a forum, and in fact the entire Southwest region, is the issue of restructuring. What do we mean by restructuring? We mean devolution of powers and resources to the sub-regions in this country. And the sub-regions, of course, constitutionally, are the states and the local governments. Even though we have what we call zones, they are not reflected in the Constitution. Now, personally, oil. All revenues were based on either cash crops or taxation. I remember my parents paying poll tax, cattle tax, still don't educate our children well. We don't provide good infrastructure. We don't provide good health care to our members, of the public, and so on and so forth. So in 2004, when I was Vice President to President Olusegun Obasanjo, I started writing about restructuring. I remember when I was in Lagos and delivered the first lecture on restructuring. I came back to Abuja and the president queried me. I told him, Mr. President, I was not speaking on behalf of your government. I was speaking as Atiku Abubakar. And I think I'm entitled to my views. Since then, I have spoken on restructuring in Enugu, University of Nigeria, Nsukka. I have spoken on restructuring in Kaduna when they didn't want to hear it. I spoke. And eventually, I ended up publishing a book on restructuring. So, if this is your number one priority as Southwesterners, I can tell you that if you elect me, I will implement it. Not only will I implement it, but I have started implementing it. What do I mean by started implementing it? I have already put together a committee of constitutionally learned lawyers who have drafted an amendment to the Constitution for me, which I will present to the National Assembly, present to the governors, and then we now kick off the process. So I have gone far ahead than any other candidate today running for president as far as the issue of restructuring or devolution of powers is concerned. Why? Because the APC itself have it in their party constitution. Have they implemented it? Today they are almost 8 years in office. Have they? They have not. They are deceitful. They are dishonest. They don't mean it because they know you want to hear it. It sweets you, and they put it there. Like the chairman said that many of us have made promises and have not fulfilled those promises. I'm not one of them. I will fulfill it. I have 2 sub-topics, but I believe my 5 minutes is finished. You give me 2 more? Okay. Well, the other aspect as far as the economy is concerned. And I showed that when we were in office. We promoted and encouraged the private sector to the extent it is only the private sector that brings prosperity, development, wealth, jobs, and so on and so forth, not government. And to that extent, when we were in office, we made sure, because we had a private sector driven economy policy, we got Nigeria to become the biggest economy in Africa. And we had the highest economic indices, from our GDP to inflation rate to the value of our naira, name it, whatever. So again, here you have a promoter, a believer and promoter of a private sector-led economy. One other topic is the unity of our country. I believe you will be interested in it, because APC has destroyed our unity. Today we are more divided between North and South. We are more divided between Muslims and Christians and non-believers in any religion. I promise and I intend to redress it. I will make sure, whether particularly the unity of our country is restored in all federal appointments. To close my remarks, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of our entourage, I want to apologize for our late coming. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir. You may please be seated, Your Excellency. I believe the panel is ready. Yeah. Okay, please go ahead, sir. Oh, sorry. The Director General of DAWN, Development Agenda for Western Nigeria. He has a brief presentation.
Your Excellency, the former Vice President, Alhaji Abubakar Atiku, Your Excellency, the Governor of Delta State, Your Excellency, Governor of Sokoto State, distinguished men at the high table, Your Excellency, I want to interact with you, to let us know, and I'm glad that you mentioned probably the crux of what will be the discussion this evening, sir. Restructuring. What we are demanding, and we are not beggars. we have what we call the Dawn documents, the Western Nigeria documents. Permit me 1 second to quote the Bible, where it says in Habakkuk that write the vision, make it plain, so that those that read it will run with it. This region, our vision in that document of what the Southwest wants. We have not come to say that, as I said, if and when you get there, we hope that whatever we agree on here will be the things that you implement for us as a region. Once again, thank you very much indeed, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Over now to the panel. Your Excellency, the Waziri Adamawa. Your Excellencies, the Governor of Delta State, and by God's grace. Okay. My question will center on infrastructure and the effect that is having on our economy. The rail, the roads, the electricity. How they affect us such that unemployment is being multiplied. Our people are running out of the country. And that essentially is because the economy is not doing well. The Southwest, we want a situation that we can have our own rail, we can be able to generate our own electricity and do whatever we think we should do with a better encouragement from the federal government. How do you want to ensure that the unity of the country as it is today is not what it used to be? Everybody is talking of secession or whatever. What do you want to do that an average Hausa man that is here is more comfortable, an average Yoruba man that is anywhere is not thinking of secession or whatever? Thank you.
I am well and strong. What do you do in respect of infrastructure? The investment on infrastructure is so huge. If you have read my covenant with Nigerians, you would have noticed or seen where we intend to get the investment on infrastructure. Again, private sector. How? By giving them an enabling environment to bring in their investment. I don't mind giving a private company to construct a railway from here to Ogbomosho and give him a tax rebate 10, 20 years until he can recover his investment and also make profit. The federal government does not have the money, to be honest. So we have to invite the private sector from both abroad and locally to invest as far as our infrastructure is concerned. Not only infrastructure, a number of vital sectors of our economy will require private sector investment. Well, another question on unity resurfaced. I'm not going to be like an APC administration. I will make sure that every geopolitical zone is represented as enshrined in our constitution as far as appointments are concerned. Every geopolitical zone. In 1994, when I was in the Constitutional Conference, there were some of us who moved a motion of amendment to the draft then, because we were drafting, the Constitution. We said, look, why should we insist on Nigerians being described as non-indigens in any part of Nigeria where they decide to live? And some of us proposed an amendment in the Constitution. But surprisingly and shockingly, most of those who opposed that provisional amendment came from the South. Those of us, I remember then, under the late Shehu Yaradua, were for removal of indigenship provision in the Constitution. If in the United States you can move from one state to the other, stay for only 6 months, and be an entitled citizen of that state, many of you know that. I see no reason. There is something in my religion which says that strangers or visitors bring prosperity and wealth to any locality. So is also another factor we can consider if we really mean or want an integration in this country. But it's all up to you. You live as you want to live. Thank you very much.
Next question.
Your Excellency, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, and all the protocols observed. The issue of insecurity in Nigeria is much. In Southwest, the governors created and established Amotekun. The federal government fought back. What will be your own stake over this Amotekun? And what do you think about the state police? How far do you think we can go with this? And Your Excellencies are the women in the group. Want to know what program you have for them and their children as you become the president, please.
Insecurity is part of our restructuring issues. In other words, should we have states and local government police or not? Again, it will depend on our legislators. The kind of system of government that we run was borrowed from the United States. Those of you who know the United States very well know that we have federal police, we have state police, we have borough police, we have county police. And that was under the same kind of policing or security I grew up. In my village, in my local government, I only knew of local police before regional police. I did not know of regional police until even I came to Kaduna. So, but it all depends. It's going to be there. I will propose it, but it all depends on what the National Assembly does. They are here, members of the National Assembly, leaders, and also the State Assembly. As you know, our Constitution amendment processes required a great deal of broad consensus from the National Assembly to the State Assemblies and so on and so forth. Women participation, we were the only government that made the Beijing conference requirement as far as participation of women in governance is concerned. Check the PDP record as far as the participation of women in governance is concerned. We even went beyond the 30%. And we still mean, in fact, it's part of our policy as of today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. You may please be seated. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you for coming. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I now invite Akerogun Akintayo Akindeko for the vote of thanks.
All protocol observed. Olúwa Olódùmarè, a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ èrè ni o. A wá síbí kò sẹ́ni tó fara pa. A wà ń bí látàárọ̀ dì sí. Ó fi sùúrù sí wa lọ́kàn. Ó lè gbà wá láyè ká lè gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ láti àlejò pàtàkì tó wà ń bí, a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ o. Ẹ̀yin stakeholders wa, a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín. Ẹ̀yin gan ẹ̀yin lẹ gbé wa sórí ìjìká, tẹ́ kì wá láyà ká bọ́ síwájú. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, Waziri Adamawa, with the permission of my chairman, given the fact, sir, that you are married to our daughter, given the fact that your children are our children, given the fact that all much of your investments are right here in the Southwest, we welcome you as a stakeholder member of this august group. As for my brothers in PDP, I have only one thing to say to you, to say thank you. PDP! 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 Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Can we take the national... Thank you very much, Your Excellency. If you do not mind, sir, we'd just like a group photograph here in front. Stakeholders, please.